go. Second time's the charm for Nofe and Afrika Freaks.
Yep, Afrika moving over to the red side. Maybe they can utilize the red side like they did much of 2018 to great effect. And Hanwha Life Esports wanting to put it away 2-0 with this victory here. Much better than their victory over KT Rolster, and really affirming them in that top 5 here in the LCK will mean that for match score, we'll have 5 teams at 2-0, 5 teams at 0-2. However, Afrika have a chance to bite back, and they've got some big jaws in Dread in the jungle.
Urgot and Galio are the most common first picks we're seeing. Will either of them be banned in this particular draft? Relia taken away. Akali is a sometimes champion, not an always champion, but can frequently fill a ban spot as well. Waiting here for Hanwha Life and their decision.
Will it be the Aatrox, or will it be something else that's going to be banned? Last for Afrika Freaks, Camille. Going to be taken away from Dread, like you say.
So this is why I like the Camille ban. Yes, Dread is a great Camille, and he'll play it aggressively like we saw Onfleek do to great extent, but it's also a blind pick aggressive jungler that kind of always fits into a comp, and Urgot Camille, Galio Camille could be first round on the red side. Instead, now if Dread wants to get a reliable aggressive jungler, maybe he has to actually occupy the 5th pick on red spot to actually get the sort of matchup he wants. So even interacting with something like that is a nice benefit, and the cost is just a single ban on blue side.
Yeah, well, speaking of that blue side, the Aatrox is going to be locked in here for Hanwha Life Esports. This time around, other notable names left available other than those that Afrika are hovering is the Akali. Still something that they could head towards if anyone would like to. Rakan available as well. Lissandra going to be there, and Dread going to lock that one away alongside, once again, that Victor that they locked in so quickly the last time.
The Nocturne is the variable that won't be locked in. It's just a hover in this game. You would never lock in Nocturne first round because Ezreal's open, so you can't even just kill an immobile AD carry guaranteed with that particular champion. So a bit of mind games there from Dread.
Or just having a bit of a laugh.
Exactly.
Based on what Spirit was doing.
He might be mind gaming his own team. We don't know. As Hanwha Life, they see Alessandra and they say thank you very much. Tom Kent's going to be a nice quasi-answer to this.
Is it the time Ezreal to come out? Hanwha Life Esports have loved it so far, but no, they were pretty happy with that lane. First hover will be on the Kai'Sa.
Ezreal would be my first expectation,
Mine
but
too.
The confidence is there, obviously, on the side of Hanwha Life. They continue the hover. Do they accept the Ezreal? Do they stick with the Kai'Sa? They stick with it. Okay. Respect to Hanwha Life for going with what worked. The Rakan, purely a Rakan, remember, because Xayah can be easily banned, can be put out here, but now you're in that weird spot of Hanwha Life where, on the one hand, do you know the duo lane, or on the other hand, do you just confirm the duo lane by banning the Xayah? Both ways can make you feel a bit sheepish, so there is a bit of a mind game here for Hanwha Life.
I'd expect a flex of the Victor out of the bottom lane if the Rakan is there. I don't necessarily feel like that lane will be able to punish the Kai'Sa very well, but it's just me. The Nocturne going to be the answer here, get it away from Dread. Find that to be an interesting ban.
No Urgot, Galio, or Sion. This draft could go many different places.
It's a new one.
In the second round. It's a brand new day. You talked about a beautiful day in game number 1. I'm not willing to call it that just yet, but we'll wait and see if Bono is there. Final ban here for Hanwha Life Esports. Looking for potentially another Dread champion. Again, this guy is a huge invading jungler. They will just ban away the Xayah to try to pigeonhole bot lane as another Kai'Sa farm lane. Like you say, does feel more like a keen top lane on the Victor this time, as will aiming be locking in the Kha'Zix, a perennial favorite of our aggressive junglers, when the Camille is gone.
Well, that is going to be the case, so they're going to hold on to that flexibility for as long as possible. Makes a whole lot of sense. I don't think last picking for Dread is worth it when you got flex picks that go this far. Bono thinking about the Sejuani. This would be a step away from where he's found success. Remember, that one loss that he had was on the Zac, a slower jungler, something that won't have that agency in the first few levels. 1 second to go. And it will be... Oh, no, it won't. It'll be LeBlanc picked up for Lava, one of his old favorites.
And a champion that was banned in game number 1.
Yeah.
So maybe they had more of a read than we appreciated. Always cool to see a LeBlanc, one of the few non-flex picks we see in the current meta. And Bono adjusts because, well, Lava and Bono don't want to be dictated to. They want to be dictators. They're doing the best Castro here because they've got the LeBlanc and Olaf to do some invading and play on the front foot. whatever ends up being the lane assignments, we've never had a Nico or Garen, the only two champions never picked in the LCK. That stat will continue. A draft that was screaming for an Ezreal gets one, but on the side of a Freak of Freaks.
Yeah, the draft was screaming for it. Wasn't on this side of the rift, though, as aiming will be picking that one up. Ezreal Rakan certainly got a lot of slipperiness there towards the bottom side of the map, but can they punish Ki and Sangyun enough on this hyper-scaling bottom duo? That is the question. A very different draft here from Humble Life Esports if you look at the top side of the map. Yes, Olaf is going to be going aggressive, but they don't have the pseudo tanks anymore. Tal is going to be on way more damage here in the Aatrox, as well as the LeBlanc being so different from the utility of the Galio.
The only way this draft actually has, to me, kind of trump cards in the early game, really good win conditions to start an eventual win for Afrika, is if Lissandra and Kha'Zix are on the front foot and finding Olaf and killing him in his jungle. Because otherwise, LeBlanc and Olaf, if they're doing the spotting, can easily take down a target with a lot of stickiness and so much mobility on the duo. However, if you feast on the Olaf and get him behind, it's going to require Lissandra to be rotating. Very, very tricky. I think the execution edge is required by Afrika because Kai'Sa and Tahm Kench are going to farm freely against Ezreal Rakan in the bot side. Top lane, very difficult to pull off ganks. So mid-jungle versus mid-jungle, I think Afrika Freaks need to start there if they're going to pick up a game victory, and they don't want to join all those other big orgs, 0-4, at the end of week 1.
Absolutely. There are 4 others, and Afrika are on the precipice of falling down to meet them as well. So very scary stuff if you're an Afrika Freaks fan. Certainly all of our teams that went over to Worlds have had the worst possible week thus far. KT Rolls are the only team capable of taking even a game.
We're not best of ones here, we're best of 3, so one game is not enough. Will one game get Afrika back on course? This one we'll find out.
And unfortunately, guys, we are going to start the game with a little bit of a pause. As you can see, we get this beautiful zoom out, though, in sepia mode, and see that everyone is in very defensive formation.
And
so
now we get to see our beautiful visages as well.
Can we just say faces?
No.
I don't want to be a visage.
Why?
It makes me sound like a mirage. I'm real, I promise.
You're a facade.
A facade? A facade, if you will? That's closer to face. I'll take that.
That sounds like
one.
the mid laner of SKT.
Faker?
Yeah.
Oh, Faker, I think, is who you were talking about.
It rhymes with shaker.
It does, which rhymes with shaker.
Well, it seems like we're having some headset issues for Proud. Some Proud headset issues, if you will.
Yeah, I wouldn't be that proud. Sorry, it was his mouse. Take it all.
Oh, it's generalized.
I take it all back. It's not a headset issue. He must be using a Sennheiser headset because, of course, would never have an issue at all. But the Afrika Freaks having a few more issues than just the mouse of Proud.
Just so many more issues than we could have predicted. Because, again, like, what a badass top side of the map. It feels like if you're the GM who's in charge of making these decisions, you're like, man, I got keen Yukao spirit. Like, that's right up there. However, the KT guy was pretty happy too. Now, he had more problems because he had no AD carry, and that was obviously a bit of a problem. But
yeah,
you have aiming, who is, you know, very reliable,
and
if
also
not
had been
taking it to the next level just yet.
And he'd been playing recently very well outside of competitive play.
He was a
so
4-5 AD carry,
yeah.
which at least you've got one of those. KT had literally no AD carry, so that was a bigger problem. And yet, the top trios not mattering, which is
wasn't what we were expecting moving into this this theoretical meta, as we may have.
And your problem is, then you're like, all right, what does the Occam's Razor suggest? Does it suggest that actually it's bot lane carry? Then you're like, wait, Damwon Gaming is winning with Vladimir last picks and maximizing their very mechanical top laners. Nuguri Showmaker, Keen Yukao, it should be a wash, right? This should be just epic excitement on both sides, and whoever's better on the day pops off and wins. And yet, teams haven't been able to minimize their problems and maximize their advantages so far. That's actually been a lot more rickety than we might have predicted. And now we're in a spot where Afrika could really go 0-4, even if they should feel pretty good about their offseason.
And I feel like one of the only teams that actually does sort of prove the first theory of, you know, maybe the bottom lane is just really strong is SKT. Teddy has looked absolutely dominant. Mata as well down there alongside him. That bottom lane has been where they've been more playing around. You know, Khan has been struggling a little bit in certain instances.
If the Fiora hadn't worked, I'm right there with you. But the Fiora worked, and that was what I said was so important to me. They won 4-0. That's great. But the fact that they could put Fiora or Jace on Khan and carry, that strategy can happen in 2019, means you can't just go, all right, bot lane bans, let's deal with that. There are potential fires that can still be started by Khan, and if Faker has one of his pop-off games, then suddenly everything's coming together because the other members have been very, very good and very, very consistent. So, yeah, it's situational. It does feel like we're getting that real extension of the off-season. You know, now we're in that weird spot where the ranked season hasn't started yet, and it feels like the ranked season hasn't started for Freaker Freaks, Gen G, KT. It feels like they are still in off-season mode because the results just aren't coming together.
Yeah, we just need to finish off our placements here in the LCK. Everyone needs to finish their placements so we understand where they're actually going to stack.
Well, the placements right now suggest the climb is going to be real for some of our orgs.
Yeah, some of our orgs that may have even made it over to
bombed
MSI
the placements,
and Worlds
Atlas.
last year. The placements have most certainly been bombed. You're exactly right.
Hey, you shouldn't play your placements when you're tilted, when you're not your best self. And I have to say, it doesn't feel like we've seen the best self of a Freaker Freaks, KT, or Gen G.
Yep, or Kingzone as well. I mean, we saw them earlier on today. I know you didn't really want to remember, and so we're going to try and forget by watching Hummer Life Esports in game number 2 against the Freaker Freaks. See whether they can continue to play aggressively. I love seeing the Olaf out of Bono. He's got a couple of bans so far since his first victory, and now he's got himself a visual bug as well. And a bug in his vision, as Dread was actually spotted, I believe, by Hummer Life Esports.
Sorry, I was distracted by our cool ads at the bottom of the screen. No sellout, really was distracted.
And no wires, no limits. You guys were talking about wireless mice and how you get nervous.
BDD is making me nervous now that I'm thinking about this again.
Have you used that mouse before?
No, it's probably great.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but what if you ran out of battery?
Oh,
that's
or attack
awkward.
Speed.
He has 40% attack speed if you got W. Didn't skill the W. No award for you.
Feels bad. He wanted to throw axes, Papa Smithy. Can you deny a man an axe?
Hey, ask him a question.
Well, he axed us a question, and we said, you should have taken W.
I've never seen that Aatrox skin. Is that Prestige Aatrox?
Yeah, it's the one that everyone loves on Reddit.
I mean, it looks pretty cool. What's not to love, right?
Yeah. I like Blood Moon. That's my personal favorite.
I feel like we're going to get a note from Riot now.
Yeah, we are. It's going to say, nice job, guys.
Freelance casters, by the way.
There we go. Well, Yukal, he's going to get electrocuted, but still win a trade here in the mid lane. Can be a little bit difficult in the earlier levels here for the LeBlanc, but Lava gets onto a champion that has been banned away from him in games past, and we'll see whether he's going to prove himself or not.
Level 1 can actually be really painful if you go for the Mirror Corrupting Potion start. You can opt into some of those Lissandra trade damage, just out-damage her, so nice little stuff there from Lava. No cleanse because of the respect of the potential Lissandra into Kha'Zix's burst. Does mean the burst range is lower. We were looking for Yukal and Dread to invade on Olaf. Against a cleanse LeBlanc, you can be a bit more proactive, Atlas.
That's a really cute read coming in from Bono as well, as he wanders over a ward, yes, but there's nothing Dread can do. He is all the way topside, trying to get that full topside clear. We'll be able to take down that blue buff straight into this Rift Scuttler. Bono off to a pretty great start. We'll see whether he can get around and actually take down his own blue, or whether Dread is going to get there after having a little bit of a pit stop on the top side. Dread spotted on that ward, pinged out immediately, and as that Rift Scuttler is taken, I believe Bono should be able to make his way over. Chains, are they going to land Yukal? Yes, has to flash, but can't take the claw, and the flash in from Bono picks up first blood, and his Olaf, again, has to be respected.
Oh, what a disaster. They had the information edge. There was no counter game possible. Great play from Hummer Life Esports. We said that Yukal and Dread needed to be the carry here in the early game, and it's already the reverse in game number 2.
That early game navigation from Bono is on a complete other level, though. As he
Who is this guy? And
I don't know.
He just took someone's name, and suddenly he takes the old Bono, throws it out, and the new Bono's so much better.
If only you two could have done the same thing.
Maybe Bono came off tour finally,
Yeah.
and now we get to see him in the LCK.
It's beautiful, as he's going to have a massive lead in the health bar against Dread. They're going to go for the smite battle. And the patience is running thin, and Dread is able to steal that one away. The inside track there from Keen. Going to give it over to the Freaker Freaks, so good respect being paid there by Bono, but lucky that there's no 3-buff.
And the point you mentioned earlier, being spotted on the vision. Now suddenly you can flash forward. The snare there was going to stop the glacial path, if you're wondering why he decided to keep going there. And just no way out. Well played by the duo there, and very good communication from Bono and Lava.
Well, Tal here towards the top side. We'll see what he can make of this Aatrox, taking a bit of a reverse matchup, but no Urgot in this game, so...
That looks like a Keyblade, doesn't it?
It does.
Weird.
I feel like so his sword looks very much like a sword, right? But I feel like the rest of his body is this weird white mess, and I don't really understand what it is.
I feel like that sword will hurty him less than the previous sword looked to hurty.
That's true. And is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Probably
False sense
a bad
of security,
thing.
or...
I mean, a blunt sword, a blunt weapon, only Jax gets away with that, so... I don't know.
Yeah, I remember the Reddit post, though, about how having a fishing rod was cheating.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be hit with a fishing rod.
No.
Or be a fish and get caught by a fishing rod. I feel in both ways painful.
It sounds awful.
Well, Yuko screams a bit. It's kind of a Lissandra thing to do. They really need to find a way with level 6 to actually punish specifically Bono, but Bono's going to be level 6 before too long. His early jungle's gone pretty well, and Dread can do some counter jungling, but not much more.
And what has continued in this game is having a lot of vision control, where Hanwha Life wants it around this map. Top side of the map is exactly where Bono wants to have it. And he's got the control ward, a couple of extra wards. We'll now take down this Krug camp. Not going to get pinged, as that's the minion wave getting pinged out, saying just don't move in front of that one because that's where the wave is. He wasn't spotted. Wave going to crash. Tal moves back towards the top side after grabbing the soldier build and a rock.
We've never mentioned bot lane ever since it was locked in for this particular reason. It's CS for CS on both sides. And well, you get a Baron buff and you start poking down Kai'Sa, and that's fine for the Ezreal. You don't, and you start team fighting. That's pretty good for Songyun on the Kai'Sa. So very much a 50-50 on the bot side. The mid lane's been anything but 50-50.
Well, Bono's going to Predator forward. Yukao gets hit by the first one as in goes Dread. Lava trying to find more. Bono going to be the first one to go down. Can we get the distortion damage? Dread going to fall. So it is a 1-for-1 in the end, and Yukao going to have control of this lane afterwards.
Close to trading up, but probably no trade up because of the first blood earlier. We talked about level 6 from Yukao. They do get a kill from it, but just a trade between Hanwha Life and a Freak of Freaks mid-jungle duos. Wow,
Songyun able to sidestep that one. Proud having to make his way all the way out. Rakan very squishy. Songyun with that full Q smashing into the Rakan is bad news. Not a lot of mana here on the Kai'Sa, who hasn't been back to base just yet. Same thing can be said for aiming. He does have that teleport available, and Key and Songyun both have theirs as well, so they can reset whenever they want. Probably looking to go back with BF Sword money. Continue their push on the bottom side. Let's check out this one again, as Bono does manage to get the kill onto Dread, but I feel like that may have been a little bit of visual bug action, because it looked like they didn't know that Dread was actually in there.
I think the most important thing for me is that Yukao chose the aggressive ult rather than the self ult. It's level 5, so obviously the CC effect is going to decrease damage, so I think it was the right call. Bono and Tala now actually the combined invade duo, and Kha'Zix definitely not going to be taking any direct paths to this buff.
Yeah. Actually, I take it all back. I think that skin looks kind of cool. It looks a little bit like Xin Zhao, though, which is a little bit scary.
Well, we're going to see it up and close very soon because we're looking for a turret dive.
Yep, World Ender going to come in. Tal just going to try and tank up this turret for as long as possible, and there it is. WR, and then you're dead. And then the World Ender is going to be procced, so they don't even need to expend anything to get the kill onto Keen.
Keen's smooth moves in the quarterfinal were the only good news story for a Freak of Freaks at Worlds 2018. No smooth moves are going to get you through that one. You got the champion who can tank the turret, and you've got plenty of burst from Lava. Goodbye to the victor. No teleport to return to lane, so how about some extra gold to Tal?
Yep, no flash there as well, and Tal didn't have to use his, so now going to have a lane advantage on top of everything else. And grabs that first turret plate at the same time, making his way back into this lane, feeling pretty comfortable. There's the QW combo, lands the chain. Point blank as well, as Bono does get onto him with the undertow, and Dread trying to take down the LeBlanc, but the deceive is going to be good enough to get him out of the way.
But you do see what we were alluding to. There is ways with burst, and that is what Kha'Zix and Lissandra provide to get picks on Bono and Lava. This is really the only way I can see Afrika playing this how they need to. Because of trading up, they can also go contest the red buff, but for now at least, Dread might be overextended.
Yep, the lick is not going to land there, and Dread is able to steal that one away. As there's the flash forward from Key. Really wants to get into this fight, as there it is! Killer Instinct comes in! And the Catfish picks up the kill on the bug. They're trying to go in. The Abyssal Voyage now on cooldown, unable to get on top of Yukao. He's slippery with that Claw of Doom and gets himself to safety.
And the red buff is passed over awkwardly to the Tom Catch. Not last auto attack from Songyun. Kill credit goes to the side of Hanwha Life. Bit of greed being shown by Afrika.
Yep, another chain going to land here onto UCal, but Lava takes the wrong end of that trade. It's Tal that's able to offer something in here for the extra damage. An Infernal Drake going down as Dragon number 1. 1,200 gold. Going to be the lead here for Hanwha Life Esports. Fantastic news story early.
On a day with a lot of peripheral issues, I'd like to see them check the chains that the Lava's been using.
Man,
he's
threading him.
This wasn't a threading. This was just a summoner used by Key. Able to go in there, Dread caught with his hand in the cookie jar, literally. Sadly, for Sangyun, doesn't pick up the red buff here to start bossing around the duo lane. And while I like the combat Abyssal Voyage, Glacial Path is up to stop there being a further kill.
Leap down, cooldown, Dread. Unable to turn this one around against Tal, most likely. Could have Umbral dashed up that wall, but wants to hold on to the charge. As the Rift Scuttler will at least go over to the Afrika Freaks. Well, Lava should be able to get this blue buff delivered very easily. UCal continues pushing forward. He does have about a 20 CS advantage. We knew that this guy, like the young mechanics man, the man with all the confidence moving into LCK for 2019, we knew what he could do, what he was capable of. He was brilliant. He saved KT Rolster. He's the reason why they were our summer champions. But what can he do to help his team now? Has a lot that he can affect with this Lissandra, as Keen takes a lot of damage from Tal.
Remember, Keen was so good in this matchup at Worlds. So.
Yeah.
Turret plating's new, the matchup's the same, and Keen will be just happy enough to skate around and frustrate Tal.
Just wanders around. I feel like it doesn't matter which champion he's on, he just understands how to play against this Aatrox, and Tal looking a little bit frustrated.
I miss his Darius, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
If Summit can play it, why can't Keen?
Exactly.
As Keen's going to find a LeBlanc.
There's another World Ender. The Umbral Dash is going to get him out of the way of the gravity field as Keen's trying to use that extra movement speed, but it just doesn't matter. Presses W in his general vicinity, and he dies.
Short nerf on the duration, not enough. Still going to get the revive there is the Aatrox. He stands up. He feels good. He knows that Lava did the heavy lifting, and if UCal's only getting most of a turret point there and turret plate, it's not enough.
Well, Lava does land a little bit of a combo, but will take a lot more damage in return. 3-0 and 1. He's been roaming a lot, which is why the 20 CS gap is there. UCal not able to make up for it with that one assist, so Lava will still be in a lot of control here in mid.
I need to see Lava miss a chain. It'll make me feel better about my own play.
Oh, man, I know.
And I don't even play LeBlanc because she's too hard. Lets you know that I'm feeling very inadequate at the moment.
Yeah, me too, don't worry. We're both in the old man club. Valdez is still in the I can play the game club, and it's
He doesn't
really
dare
depressing.
play LeBlanc, though.
No one would.
Hey!
Hey, there we go. He missed the chain. I feel like he did that for you. This is what...
Nice chain, bro.
Dude,
yeah.
Booths.
I found a time to
We
trash
need
talk.
booths.
I didn't
they
have
seem
any
to
time
be able to
before.
listen all the time as Lava misses that chain as well, or doesn't actually throw it out. Cal gets out. Oh, dear.
Take that, Lava.
You got him.
Only as good as your last chain, bro.
How am I going to lose this series? There's a heads up. Brambleback going to spawn. UCal coming over just to make sure that he can actually take it. Not going to deny the popcorn chickens either, but control ward vision available for Hanwha Life Esports around this top side. But a cheeky ward should help the Afrika Freaks understand where the movements of this Olaf actually are.
And Afrika Freaks, if they could have the full information here, are behind, as you'd expect, but not in a Titanic way just yet. They still do have the ability to get a lot of burst onto one person, and that burst and the poke of Ezreal will serve them well in the mid-game if, and I mean if, they can stem the bleed. They need to make some smart moves in the future. Key has Ghost, so he can afford to be lumbering around a little bit on this time. He's got Swifty boots.
That's my boy.
Damn.
Oh, my favorite boots in the entire game. As you know all too well, Pub Smithy.
We did have a ranked team called Swifty Gunbladers for a reason.
We did, and we built them on every champion you could.
You know what? Purchase may vary on whether Swifty Gunblade was the right choice per champion. Jax was all right with it.
I liked your Fiddlesticks. That was my favorite.
Hey, I needed more crowd control.
Gotta slow him, man. I get it. You get more drain value.
It's so I could walk past them and terrify them in the other direction.
I don't think Terrify worked that way at that point.
Revisionist history. No one has that ranked history,
yes.
Atlas.
Sorry. Okay, Hanwha Life, though, still feeling very happy. Moving towards that 3,000 gold lead is key. Avoiding a lot of these spells quite nicely. I want to talk about this bottom lane a little bit, because both of these champions are sort of 2-item power spike into late game carry. In this sort of iteration of what Ezreal was. Because Ezreal's been a lot of different things throughout the years, and at the moment, with the double-tier build, he does so much damage in the later stages of the game.
Now, they're not 100% the same in that way as bot lane.
It's not the same as Proud is going to jump forward. Devour's going to be used to try and keep Sungyun alive, but it ain't going to work. Dread just explodes him. The Catfish going to fall down afterwards, and Afrika Freaks find the kill on the back of their rookie in Proud.
Proud's best moment comes 14 minutes into game number 1 of his career on the Afrika Freaks. Very nicely done there. Proactive play gets them the Inferno as well.
They'll get a charge in this mid lane, though, and Hummer Life Esports are going to answer with first turret in the mid lane. First Infernal over for Afrika Freaks, but Hummer Life already have one of those in the bank. It's not going to answer the gold too much, and it looks like Shelly is going to get some more work done here in the inner turret in mid.
Won't be able to complete that turret, and Afrika go bot lane. Try to get a bot lane turret of their own. They're actually pulling back very defensively here. They know the Abyssal Voyage could be used, and we know that it's been used a lot more defensively than Afrika could have predicted.
Yep.
Gets them back to lane. No answering turret, but a nice moment for Afrika in a week that's been pretty lean on those.
Yes. Not going to actually have any effect on what the gold looks like, as this whole minion wave was scooped up by Hummer Life, and now Lava is looking for aiming. Chain's going to miss once again. So Papa Smithy's happy about that. Hummer Life fans, definitely not.
He may be off on the chain, but it does mean that Ezreal fully disengages from the turret, and they take it down. So Hummer Life get a second turret, Atlas, and that's much more the important bookkeeping than we need to do, rather than how many chains have been hitting lately. Let's watch the replay. This is really clean from Proud. Begins with the ult because he knows he's going to clip on the way, and he needs to clip Tahm Kench to stop the Abyssal Voyage from happening there. No Abyssal Voyage, no chance of living. A nice cleanup by Afrika Freaks.
Yep. Had the Grey Health at pretty much the perfect time, did Key, but that ain't going to help you if there's that much damage available for the Afrika Freaks. How can Hanwha play around this now? Key has the answer. He wants to go and lick someone, I think. Get some more wards down, and this top side going to get cleared out by Hummer Life.
Set up some control here. Right now, the mini-map shows us not a lot of wards on either side. Just some global objectives going down 1 for 1. This will be Afrika's first turret of the game. And the bottom side, the Infernals are also even between the two.
This game, in fact, extremely even. The gold may tell you otherwise, but a lot of that will be shored up if another one of these turrets will fall down.
I wanted to hit on Ezreal versus Kai'Sa, because we do say 2-item carry versus 2-item carry in many ways. The only difference I want to specifically talk about is if your mid lane have already got the bot lane turret and mid lane wave clearing, Ezreal is better because Ezreal in that case has poke. However, the 2 items on Kai'Sa, better for team fighting. If you can actually use your Kai'Sa ult to gap close, that's where your 2-item spike is stronger. Speaking of 2-item spike 80 carries, aiming has to run. And there's a lot of gap close coming.
Yeah, Abyssal Voyage, but that's right into the quickness. A lot of damage now, but Sungyun keeps himself alive with the Killer Instinct. And that is more kills coming in for Lava. Lands the Mimic Chains onto aiming, but he's not going to survive for that long. As Lava jumps on top of him, Keen finds himself on the wrong side of the rift as Tal is chasing forward. Afrika
He got him as well. He hit all 3 there. Mr. Lava. Lava popped off in that fight. The replay will confirm it. Sungyun's hunting for victor.
Wow, I thought that would have hit. That's sort of like, feels like the visual bug should have been there, but Sungyun's still going to be awarded the kill on the victor.
It feels like chains for Lava are like how Critical Strike works. He missed 3, so of course he has to hit the next 3.
Yeah.
Watch the replay here. This is really well done by Lava. He's far away. Iceborne Gauntlet proc slows him down. But watch the team fight. Starts off by being knocked up, frustrated at this point. But then from here, it's the first chain on Proud to kill him. The second one flashed into to get there. If we track him for the third, it doesn't end up being consequential, but he actually snipes Dread through about 700 minions on the top side.
We are going to watch it.
Let's watch it here. Watch this third chain, which, why did he even go for it? Gets that one as well. Legit awesome on his accuracy there. Well, he showed me.
Yeah, that was just ludicrous. I'd report for scripting if I knew that it was impossible on these PCs.
Well,
this guy.
He's
walking the dog. He's actually just walking the dog. That's what he's doing today. He's just putting a leash on everyone.
And this is why I was talking about a Lava Award during the Kesper Cup, and to me that is defined as the award of a player who
it's like
you
a
had
most improved,
no expectations of, and then came together as one of the real big contenders. You could say a Smeb Award, but to me that's too much of a disparity from 0 to hero, basically.
Yeah.
But Lava went from 11th, 12th best mid laner in a league with 10 teams to easy top 5, 5, 6 at worst. And then now, maybe he's got a teammate who's doing the same because Bono is going way up the tier list as well.
I just don't know how we're even talking about these two players as being in this particular position because Lava honestly felt like he was standing...
I know what you're trying to say, but just the starting position for Bono...
Yeah, I know. It's out of control. Makes absolutely no sense. Wow.
Well,
this is the world we live in.
Yeah, they're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Hanwha Live, Sandbox, Jin Air. We were 2 out of 3 wrong on the teams that we thought would not be contenders.
Yeah.
Whatever happens here for Hanwha Live.
And I wanted to talk about this earlier on, but didn't really have an opportunity to, as this Mountain Drake is going to be started up and most likely secured from Hanwha Life, given their vision control advantage. But what I wanted to talk about was the MVP. The MVP points that have gone to Hanwha Life have so far been Lava, Bono, and Tal. And they've still been playing around Sangyun. In their first series, it was Tal and Bono that picked up the MVPs, and it was Sangyun that did 38% of their damage. And it just shows that this team is so good at facilitating what their carry needs to do. This is a different team composition. This is about more damage and more, I guess, insurance on the side of the actual solo laners themselves. But it is really beautiful seeing this roster come together and be able to build themselves into a unit.
And you know who's happiest? Hearing that they've got no MVPs and this team is winning, it's actually Sangyun, because Sangyun finally has all the pieces around him to be what he's been for about 2 years now. Ever since he no longer was with Snowflower and came with Key, he's always been way better than you'd think and very reliable at carrying in the late game. Now he gets to the late game on even gold or better because the rest of his team has leveled up around him, and he's still doing his job, even if the MVP points aren't going to him.
Yeah, he's looking great. 1-1-3 this game, has himself a bounty. It's all about Lava, though. This guy's got 2 items, Morellonomicon, Luden's Echo, as well as a cheeky book, and he's maxed out his ring. And they're clearing out vision, looking to push things forward, and you can see it's suffocation vision being put down. This is what we've commended so many teams for in the past. If you're feeling confident, if you're winning, this is how you get picks in the mid-game. What else do you want to do when you've got the Undertow available, when you've got the chains that are magnetic from Lava?
And Hanwha Life can do whatever they want, because that's the reason why I was so zoomed in on, all right, Yukal and Dread, you need to outplay the 2v2 mid-jungle. Hold the point, as Keen's getting collapsed on again.
Yeah, he ain't going to be outplaying this one, I don't think. Does have himself the Chaos Storm, but that is not enough Chaos, and even the buffed-up True Shot Barrage will not deter them from taking down this turret.
Again, the reason why I needed a Freak of Freaks to get a meaningful lead early to mid is how do they do things right now, as Rakan will slowly
more chains do come in. He does have to use the quickness to try and stop Lava from killing him. Dread's down, lots of burst, but the Ignite not going to be enough.
What you're seeing right now is that Afrika can't do much. The Lissandra isn't going to be going for any flanks. The Aatrox is just getting so much help to shut down Keen. On the side lane, they don't have initiation outside of Rakan, but they have nothing to follow up on with that. Victor and Rakan couldn't be more different champions. Rakan's going way in. Victor's like, I need to catch up. I got the slow bus over here. That's the problem, is that Hanwha Life, on balance, can do lots of different things, and even the Abyssal Voyage to cheat and skip over some steps when it comes to vision. And Afrika just kind of have to grin and bear it and hope for a mistake.
Yeah, and a lot of our Victors have been feeling like this as well. It feels like you play Victor in the, not necessarily on the bottom side of the map, but our top lane Victors have been suffering. 0-4-0 for Keen. Man who's been so good. Bono might be caught out here. Ragnarok pop, flash pop, everything on cooldown, but he does get himself away from the death chamber.
That's a little bit of an overextension. You can't make every correct play if you're Bono. On balance, having a fantastic week 1 of the LCK. That doesn't mean the enemy smite is vacant for now. So at minimum, some control around this Scuttle Crab should be picked up.
This ward will be cleared by Lava. Last tick of his sweeper. And control wards now should be taken away by the Afrika Freaks. There was a lot of control vision on the top side of the map for Hanwha Life, as our visual bug there means that Keen wasn't actually going over to give Hanwha Life Esports a hug. Death Ray does come in, bit of damage.
I don't think Hanwha Life need the hugs just yet.
No, but Keen, he might, because he is almost dead. Sangyun, if he didn't want to take down that turret, could have potentially tried to hit a W and just finished him off after the ultimate, but doesn't actually get there.
You know, I can see the LeBlanc ban that Lava did in game number 1.
Lava
received
like
in game number 1.
I can't remember the bans in the first series as well, but I think maybe there was a LeBlanc coming in there.
If you're asking where the LeBlanc ban comes from, it's that Lava, when he was role swapping from support, as he was the support trainee next to Aiming, his actual enemy in this particular game, the enemy AD carry. Yep. Taehoon was his name as SK Telecom T1 trainee alongside Aiming. His big champion when role swapping was Talia and LeBlanc. LeBlanc was his first love, so he's played a lot of LeBlanc. He's played it a bit in solo queue recently, and I guess the scrims also have been pretty kind to his LeBlanc because he's popping off in this game.
And he was playing support LeBlanc as well, which has a lot more focus on landing those chains. Otherwise, you just don't have any ability to do anything in the lane or affect it because you just don't have the damage.
Well, Afrika are in formation, and we know that Ezreal's sieging is much stronger after the change to W.
Halmar can't actually engage just yet as the Aatrox still trying to move forward. Yukal takes so many shots from that Q from Sangyun.
Lava walks up with Sweeper. There's no wards down here from Afrika Freaks, and Lava's being a jerk because it's Kha'Zix, and any damage is going to be relevant burst.
He's just popping around this map. Mountain Drake just spawned.
Speaking of popping, he's got a pretty sweet book.
He does. He built the book. I like it.
He hasn't finished reading it yet, but, you know?
He was Lord of the Rings, and then he built the full novel.
What book did he buy?
Well, that was the confusing part, because he had the ring, and now he's got the book. I don't know. I feel like that's going backwards. So I confused myself. I'm not going to lie. Maybe it's turning the Hobbit into Lord of the Rings.
Could be.
Yeah.
That would complete your analogy pretty well.
Yeah, I like it.
I was going to say that, even though, as you know, I'm not a buff of the J.R.R. Tolkien.
No, you're not much of a Lord of the Rings fan.
I'm all about League of Legends, baby.
Yep. Papa has one fandom that he follows.
Hey, I live sort of a full life.
Sort of a full life.
The viewers know I can't lie to them.
That's true. And look, we love you for being the League of Legends guy. You don't need to be into other stuff.
Wants to confirm his prestige. Prestiging in League of Legends is different to Call of Duty.
Wait, I thought you were a franchise man. What?
Wait.
What's Call of Duty, Papa Smithy?
It's not a Riot game? The Call of Duty is what I felt last year doing every single broadcast, Atlas.
Oh, that's what it is.
It's
that's
the
why
Duty
you're doing
to
all
the
5
LCK
days
fans.
this week. I get it. That Call of Duty. Yes. Well, you have leveled up, Papa.
Thank you.
You have prestiged super hard, much like Tal.
Oh, speaking of Tal.
Yep, he's going to dive into the backline, wants to use that World Ender for the speed, and does so. Aiming has to flash to get the hell out of there, but Lava says that you're dead, and he is! The kill's going to go over to Tal's, prestiging once again as Sangyun dives into the backline. Yukal wonders what the hell went wrong, and I'll give you the list, mate, because it is getting to be very long. Halmar Life Esports now looking for even more as they ping the Baron.
The even more represents the Baron. Tal found backline access as a Aatrox, who spent the entire game whacking away on turrets and getting ganks for him. He returns the favor. Goodbye, Baron. It's even Tal's. As they back away, the gold lead is now out of order officially. It's 12,000 gold.
Yep.
How does Tal walk into the backline? This is very much the Midstone-style restaurant that had an opening for a walk-in, apparently, and Tal walks in. Sangyun joins him.
Did you see what Lava did?
Yeah, it did.
Lava outplayed Proud about as much as you possibly could.
Well, you could say...
He flashed his whole body with the quickness, baited out the grand entrance. What?
You know what? He read him like a book, and you know what?
There we go.
He even got a signature in there to the tune of 4.
He did. 4 extra signatures. It's like the whole League of Legends dev team, Papa Smithy. From back in the day.
I was going to say, I think it's quite big now.
It is big now, but when the game was first made, that's about it.
Biggest numbers from Yukal, but that's because it's a team effort on the side of Hanwha Life, and maybe that's, once again, building into the metaphor of LCK Spring, which is so much about doing it as a team, and it not being the sum of the names, but rather the sum of your practice and how on the ball you are. Hanwha Life are really on the ball as the poke starts, and the siege split push does as well.
And what we've been talking about when we talk about Afrika Freaks being strong is, I might need to hold this thought for a moment. Key, Devour now on cooldown, flashes immediately after spitting Sangyun out. He has to flash now as well, grand entrance on top of the Catfish, and he's being given up for the Ghost as the rest of the map is being torn to shreds. Keen wondering where the hell his team has gone.
Well, he knows the Kench may be benched, but everybody else taking turrets, taking inhibitors, 2 inhibitors down. 1 to defend in mid.
Oh, Tal is just moving so damn fast. Tries to jump on top of Yukal, doesn't get any of the knockups, but they take down 2 inhibitors, and that is job done. Key, the sacrificial lamb. He's not a lamb, he's a catfish, but still able to make the sacrifice for his team.
Look, Mixing our metaphors is one of our big things here on the LCK stream.
That's
Atlas,
true.
you know that very,
and
very
I
well.
butchered the Lord of the Rings one, so I feel like we can just go ham at this point.
Well, Freaker Freaks in danger of butchering this series. 0-2 is about as butchered as it comes.
Yep.
Fnatic managed better, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah, let's not talk about that one.
Hanwha Life Esports pushing
Managing a
through mid.
0-2 in a best-of-1 scenario is really impressive.
Now, another level.
Yeah, I'm very proud.
Hanwha Life Esports, they just want to take the third inhibitor, and then the minions will do the rest.
This one's going to go down, Tal. Once again, looking for that sweet play, but doing it with full vision available. Yukao going for the last desperation play. It didn't work out for Kingzone. Can it work out now for Hanwha Life? No! The first kill going to go over. Dread is going to fall down, but now Lava has all those pages torn out of his book. He's upset about that, but the rest of his team there for revenge. The knockups are now landing for Tal. Chaos Storm comes in. World Ender should keep Tal alive, but it doesn't even need to because the Nexus is being taken down, and Hanwha Life Esports get the 2-0 over a Freaker Freaks.
The hopes are no longer alive for a Freaker Freaks ending week 1 of the LCK with a single match win, and we get it confirmed.